Hello friend. I want to tell you about the Renault Megane car. What engines were installed? Initially, both the naturally aspirated SCE petrol engine and the supercharged TCE were installed in the Megane, as well as diesel units. The offer throughout the production period was very rich, but at the very beginning the list of petrol engines was quite disappointing, because the most powerful standard one had a capacity of 1.2 liters. Yes, you could buy the 1.6 TCE 205 HP variant, but this was already a car with a sporty character, GT model, and quite expensive. This engine was not introduced to the regular Megane until 2017, although it had 165 HP at the time. 2018 brought more, as the 1.3 TCE petrol engine, a derivative of the 1.2 TCE, appeared, with power ranging from 114 to 158 HP, replacing the 1.6 engine. It is worth knowing that a lot has changed in this area over the years. Usually, the range of units, even their power alone, changed every year, at most every 2 years. Currently, there are two engines on sale, a 1.3 petrol with 140 HP and a 1.5 diesel with 115 HP. Both are combined with an automatic gearbox. The diesel range was less complicated. Throughout the production period, the basic engine was the 1.5 DCI, while the more powerful 1.6 DCI version, which was briefly replaced by its successor, the 1.7 DCI. The latter was available in a weaker 130 HP version and a stronger 163 HP version with two turbochargers for the GT version. In 2018, the Megane 1.6 DCI was discontinued, replacing both engines with the 150 HP 1.7 DCI. The 1.5 DCI, however, has remained to this day. The engines were combined with manual and automatic EDC gearboxes, or dual clutch. Only the naturally aspirated Megane 1.6 SCE had a 5-speed manual gearbox, the rest had a 6-speed. The automatics were 7-speed for regular models and 6-speed for selected diesels and the RS model. The automatics were combined with more powerful engine variants, i.e. 1.2 TCE, 132 HP, 1.3 TCE, 140, 158, 159 and 160 HP, 1.6 TCE and 1.8 TCE. In the diesels, these were 1.5 DCI, 110 and 115 HP, 1.6 DCI and 1.7 DCI units. The hybrid also had an automatic transmission, but it was a completely different design, the so-called multi-mode with 2 gears for the electric engine and 4 for the combustion engine. All Megane engine versions were front-wheel drive. An interesting feature is the 4-control system, which was previously used in Laguna, i.e. 4-wheel steering. This solution was only available in the GT, petrol and diesel, and RS versions. Which engine to choose? In fact, in the case of this car, more depends on the year you are interested in, because as I mentioned above, a lot has changed. For example, the naturally aspirated 1.6 SCE and 1.2 TCE and 1.6 TCE were only offered until 2018. In general, the 2016 to 2018 models had the largest selection of engines. From 2018, the 1.3 TCE was offered. In diesels, the 1.6 DCI was offered in 2016 to 2018, and the 1.7 DCI in 2019-2020. Among petrol engines, the 1.6 SCE is a sure thing. This fairly simple unit with a timing chain is almost maintenance-free. Users are happy to add gas power to it, although not necessarily in Megane. Not so much because of any difficulties, but because of the car's status. The same engine in Dacia Duster was very often equipped with autogas. You only need to check the valve clearances. The problem with the 1.6 unit is its dynamics and 5-speed gearbox. As a result, we get a car from a previous era in terms of drive. Fortunately, fuel consumption is not excessively high. According to Autocentrum reports, the average is 7.2 L 100 kilometers. This result is comparable to the supercharged and smaller 1.2 TCE. The second engine on the list of those that can be recommended is the powerful 1.6 TCE. It is a fairly refined engine. It does not have the same problems with the timing chain as the smaller 1.2 TCE, although it does have cases of stretching. Due to this and the carbon deposits that accumulate, frequent oil changes are recommended. Direct petrol injection works well, although it should be taken into account that these are quite young engines. A plus for fuel consumption, which does not have to be higher than the naturally aspirated, but much weaker 1.6 SCE, approximately 8L, 100 kilometers. Unfortunately, a minus for the combination with the EDC automatic, which takes away its already excellent performance. From the period up to 2018, there is also the aforementioned 1.2 TCE petrol, which is not a bad engine, but not a good one either. It has problems with the timing chain, which should be addressed early, because there are known cases of filing and fragments getting into the oil. The first problems are noticed even after about 60 to 80,000 kilometers, so buying a car with low mileage will not always allow you to avoid the issue. As if that wasn't enough, some models consume oil excessively, which causes a number of negative effects, not just the loss of lubricant. Incorrect combustion, carbon buildup, exhaust system damage, etc. It's also worth remembering that the unit used in the Megane IV has direct petrol injection, unlike the theoretically identical 1.2 TCE used in older models. Can this engine be recommended? Conditionally yes, if you find a good one. 1.3 TCE is a very modern unit. Working under the hood of cars for a short time does not deserve a negative assessment due to age, but initially we can assume caution. It has not only all the solutions of its predecessor, but also a GPF filter and a very restrictive exhaust gas cleaning system. I will write about it later. The first noted problems include uneven engine operation and jerking during acceleration, as well as the onboard computer's suggestion to check the injection system. The fuel consumption is significantly lower, according to reports even below 7L, 100 kilometers, and the dynamics are very good. Unfortunately, it is already known that a large part of the fuel goes to engine oil. Therefore, it should be replaced at least every 10,000 kilometers, and also when the level rises significantly above the state. If you do not worry about servicing, then choosing this engine may turn out to be a bull's eye. Which petrol engine should you choose? Unfortunately, it's difficult. After 2018, you have no choice anyway. The only one left is the 1.3 TCE. Before the facelift, if you care about performance, it's worth looking for the 1.6 TCE. If not, think about the simple and proven 1.6 SCE. Only then do you have to accept the rather poor equipment. There shouldn't be such a dilemma when buying a Megane with a diesel engine. The best is undoubtedly the proven and refined 1.5 DCI. The lazy version is 90 HP, which can burn less than 5L, 100 kilometers. There is also a more powerful 130 HP version, which gives good performance. There are variants in the middle and each is good. In second place, I would put the more modern 1.7 DCI, which is a derivative of the 1.6 DCI. It burns less, drives more pleasantly, and in my opinion, in terms of characteristics, it is the best diesel in this size class. It is a pity that it is no longer used in any model of the Nissan Renault group. Unfortunately, the workshop experience is still small. A more proven design is the 1.6 DCI, which was initially hailed as exceptionally successful, but today we know that its heads crack, the EGR valve fails, and it also has timing chain problems. That is why we can count on the improved design of the 1.7 DCI to be better. Although for now, this is just guesswork. That is why the only proven and at the same time good diesel in the range is the 1.5 DCI. And I think that in the whole engine range, this is the engine that is best to have under the hood of the Megane. Is it worth buying a plug-in hybrid? This is a separate topic for Megane, because the car is sporadic, but you can come across it. The hybrid in Renault is based on a 1.6 SCE engine working in the Atkinson cycle and an electric unit, combined with a strange gearbox, or rather a set of gearboxes. And it is not about its name or construction, but about the principle of operation. It is impossible to describe it. The gears are changed without the driver's knowledge, often at moments or in a rather surprising way. You can't even fully understand it. You have to get used to it. Does it interfere with driving? Not necessarily, and the car's dynamics are quite good. The power of around 160 HP is not the same as the power we get from a petrol or diesel engine of comparable power. It is closer to a variant generating around 130 to 140 HP. Fuel consumption? Not bad, but not great either. In the mixed test it was 6.2 L 100 kilometers. On the route you can go down to 5, and on the highway it is approaching 9. The range on a charged traction battery is around 40 kilometers. Is it worth buying a hybrid? If you agree to a smaller trunk and plan to charge it, then you can. Not that it's worth it, but you can consider a nice example. However, you definitely shouldn't focus on looking for such a car. For similar money, you can buy another hybrid, e.g. a Korean one, which drives better and uses less fuel. And it doesn't have a battery that needs charging. Or better yet, read the text below, but bear in mind that this is the point of view of someone who is buying a new car. Typical faults. As befits a French car, Renault Megane struggles primarily with electrics. Users complain about practically every area connected to the power supply. Most of all about multimedia that freezes or fails, including the radio and Bluetooth. Users had their displays replaced at the authorized service center. It is not uncommon to have to replace entire wiring harnesses responsible for lighting, especially at the back. The cockpit displays messages about incorrect engine operation, which do not always have to be reflected in reality. The keyless system does not always work. However, the biggest, almost standard car fault is the exhaust system. The message, "Check exhaust system," or "Check injection system," drives many drivers of this make of car crazy. A visit to an authorized service center ends with a software update, error deletion or replacement of the exhaust system. And interestingly, it applies to both older and newer engines, petrol and diesel. In addition, diesels have problems with the exhaust flap located in the exhaust system. Unfortunately, the exhaust system of the Megane IV with diesel is very complex, which carries potential costs. It is a good idea to go to an unauthorized workshop, where, in addition to replacing it, a mechanic can try to diagnose the problem. Another rather sensitive area of the Megane IV is the EDC gearbox, or automatic with 2 clutches. Although there are no serious mechanical problems yet, the electrics are a pain. The problem of jerking and not very smooth gear changes is often solved by updating the control software. Megane users also report metallic knocking when starting or changing gears in manual gearboxes. Sometimes the suspension or interior elements also knock. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know any problems with this car that I didn't mention, be sure to write about them in the comments.